Naruto is splitting into dozens of clones, and they're all about to deliver a devastating shadow clone jutsu attack. How in the world can you survive? What powerful American-style jutsu technique can beat the best ninja in the world? It's you versus Naruto in a showdown to see who's the greatest Dragon Ball master, or whatever the show's about. Who would win in a fight between you and the ninja who's got a Ninetales Pokemon stuck inside of him? We're keeping this fight to a showdown between you and a young Naruto because A, as an adult, Naruto would basically annihilate you without a thought, and B, it's the only part of the show the writer was paid to watch. The challenge is simple. Sensei Kakashi is holding a bell, and one of you needs to snatch it from him. Kakashi isn't going to try to defend himself. You're all alone up against preteen Naruto's prepubescent wrath. First, you're gonna need to prepare. And don't worry, because the first 5 minutes of every Naruto episode is spent with characters having flashbacks to the previous episode. Hey, screen time's gotta get filled somehow, you know? So, while Naruto is stuck in a series of flashbacks, like a Vietnam veteran hyperventilating in the hunting and fishing supplies aisle at Walmart, you need to act. If you're a Naruto fan, you know he's probably more shredded than you'll ever be, so you're gonna have to use psychological warfare. The US military defines psychological warfare as any non-kinetic means meant to degrade the enemy's ability or will to resist. Basically, it's getting people to not fight without the persuasive power of 600 polite 50 caliber suggestions per minute. This can include coercion or blackmail, fear tactics, confusion, propaganda, or sometimes just the straight-up truth. In the first Iraq invasion, thousands of Iraqis defected when leaflets dropped using precision canisters asking them to lay down their arms. The leaflets were dropped right on top of their heads. Smart Iraqi soldiers figured that if the US Air Force could thread a needle under fire, then the next salvo would be putting real bombs on foreheads. If teen angst Naruto has a weakness, it is definitely Sakura. And even if he later ends up with the objectively superior Hinata, at this point Naruto is obsessed with Sakura, and you're going to use love as a weapon. Let us be clear, in this scenario, you are the same age as Naruto, so FBI, you can preemptively get off our backs. If you're a Naruto fan, then you definitely don't know how to talk to women. But that's okay, because we're here to show you how to go from creep-level diddler to master rizzler. And here's the secret: confidence. That's it. You can cancel your Andrew Tate podcast subscription now. All women really want is to be treated with respect and for you to act confidently. The truth is, there is no secret to risen up a girl. Just be respectful and genuine. Girls love a little romance, but they want you to be honest too. Don't be boring and tell them they're beautiful. Give it a little more oomph. Tell a girl you wanted to introduce yourself because if you left without trying, you'd end up thinking about them all week long. Hey, worked for our challenge guy. Oh, and give them your number. That way, they don't feel pressured and they're more comfortable knowing the choice to contact you is on them. But maybe Sakura isn't buying what you're selling. In that case, it's time to play matchmaker. Sakura and Sasuke inevitably end up together, despite many fans taking issue with this. But at the moment, Sasuke is more interested in becoming powerful than in girls, so that's gonna be a tough nut to crack. However, even just seeing you rizzing up Sakura is gonna drive Naruto up a wall. And the bad news is he's finally finished with the extensive flashbacks at the start of every episode. That's okay, because now Naruto has at least another 5 minutes of standing still so that people can have monologues. Listen, animation is expensive. So, you're gonna have to be prepared to face off against Naruto's jutsus. There's potentially infinite jutsus that can be developed, given that each requires the use of chakra and the throwing of various gang signs. American street gangs are masters of jutsus, and each have their own type that they're proficient at. Their jutsus include crowbar to face, curb stomp, and drive-by. But you're probably not familiar with any of those legendary ninja jutsus. Thankfully, Naruto's jutsus are pretty well known. First, you'll likely have to face off against his sexy jutsu. Using his ninja power, Naruto turns himself into a Sydney Sweeney clone. But if that's not bad enough, there is an upgraded form to be aware of. If a single Sydney Sweeney isn't enough, Naruto has developed the harem technique, during which he uses his shadow clone ability to create many copies of himself. In this case, you're up against a literal harem of skimpily clad Sydney Sweeneys. Our advice is, if you aren't gay, have you considered trying it out? If you're a girl, though, you're probably resistant to this jutsu, even if you're attracted to other women. Mostly because, unlike men, women aren't baseless, feral creatures operating purely on instinct. and have some self-control. It takes a man of iron will to resist 36 Sydney Sweeneys all at once, and this is likely not you. But there is one thing that Naruto wasn't counting on: No Nut November. You are a Naruto fan, and the overlap between Naruto fans and awareness of No Nut November is significant. This means there is good odds you've been a participant in this sacred internet challenge. If you're unaware, it's basically exactly what it sounds like. For an entire month, millions of young men and teenagers abstained from sex. Except they were already involuntarily abstaining from sex, so now they're abstaining from masturbation. It is a staggering sacrifice. But if you can shoulder the burden of No Nut November, Naruto's sexy jutsu has no power over you. Alright, so things are heating up, and the fight is about to start at last. Don't worry, Naruto is going to move in slow motion for the next few minutes, or simply cut to static shots of various characters acting surprised. Stretching out one fight across 3 to 4 episodes is a good way to save on production costs. After all, to be honest, you probably have more than enough time to just learn a few jutsus of your own before Naruto throws so much as a single punch. Seriously, go back and watch the first series and count the number of actual punches thrown in any given fight, or any attack for that matter. Jutsus are split up into different categories, which we don't need to explain to you. You probably update the official wiki regularly and have already posted at least 3 angry comments below this video by now. While young, Naruto has a big weakness to genjutsu though, and this is the jutsu that directly affects the brain. By controlling chakra flows inside the subject's brain, the ninja can create all manner of illusions, even the illusion of great pain. Mastering the art of genjutsu will allow you to directly mess with Naruto's head. A dangerous proposition given the Pokemon he has trapped inside of him, but it is a surefire way to beat Naruto. However, even the 3 episodes it'll take for this fight to actually start, let alone be resolved, it might not be enough for you to take up an entire new jutsu. And you might just not have a natural aptitude for genjutsu to begin with. That's okay, because the US military mastered genjutsu decades ago. There is a variety of non-lethal weapons that the United States military developed to help with everything from battlefield management to crowd dispersal. Sonic weapons use high frequencies to create pain and discomfort without physical effect. Some laser and microwave weapons can even cause a burning sensation on the skin without leaving a mark, severe enough that people exposed to them can only tolerate it for a few seconds before retreating. There's more than enough time to snatch a bell away from Naruto's greedy grasp. But the US military has allegedly mastered a special genjutsu attack called the Brown Note. Using a range of infrasound or extremely low frequencies, the Brown Note causes stomach and abdominal muscles to contract and spasm involuntarily. The end result is that anybody exposed to this powerful American genjutsu technique will instantly fill their pants. And if that doesn't win a fight before it even starts, you should probably run away. Anybody willing to fight you with a full pants load of forbidden brownies is just not someone you want to tango with. But there is a unique type of jutsu that young Naruto is weak against: taijutsu. Basically, taijutsu is just hand-to-hand fighting without the use of fancy pants special powers. It is literally just martial arts, something you'd think every single ninja would already be pretty good at. But that is not the case, as Rock Lee proves during the Chunin exams as he wipes the floor with both Naruto and Sasuke without so much as breaking a sweat. Turns out that most ninjas in the Naruto-verse are pretty proficient at things like trapping you in a prison made out of flowing water, sending waves of razor-sharp air at you, or just straight-up lobbing fireballs. But when it comes to a hand-to-hand street brawl, a lot of ninjas don't know how to react. There's a few martial arts styles out there to pick from. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Krav Maga, or even just some basic boxing will all serve you pretty well against ninjas used to flying through the air and summoning toads out of thin air. Any local boxing gym will train you in the taijutsu technique of punching someone square in the nose. The nose is an especially good place to punch someone because of the pain and the shock that it creates when broken. Turns out they are pretty delicate things for sticking out so prominently, and the shock of a broken nose is probably something Naruto is unaccustomed to. A good headbutt is an excellent follow-up. Just remember to headbutt with the top part of your head. where the skull is the thickest. You might as well use it for something other than questionable life choices. Maybe, though, you are one of the few lucky enough to be born with the Sharingan, though you'd have to be a descendant of a specific ninja tribe. If you've been blessed with the Sharingan, then you'll likely be able to use it in a few different ways. First, the most obvious benefit is that it allows you to counter all of Naruto's attacks. You know, when the fight starts in about 2 more episodes, the Sharingan lets you see the slightest movement or even muscles tensing, letting you intuitively predict an opponent's attack and how to best counter it. The second way to use the Sharingan against Naruto is to use its Eye of Hypnotism ability. This will allow you to use Genjutsu to directly affect his brain, something pretty easily done given how undisciplined young Naruto was. If you want to really take the fight out of him, just flood Naruto with thoughts of Sakura and Sasuke together. Or you and Sakura together. Maybe just replay for him all the times that Sakura rejected him. But if there is any fight left in Naruto, then just use the Sharingan to perfectly copy any jutsu he throws at you, countering all of his abilities with ease. There is, however, another alternative jutsu power which Naruto is weak against and has no defenses from. This is a form of American jutsu known as AR-15 assault rifle. Technically, it's a taijutsu technique. It doesn't require much investment or time to become proficient at it. Simply attend any local gun show and an AR-15 taijutsu master will grant you access to this technique for about $500. Depending on the state, you can purchase the AR-15 jutsu without a background check or a permit, and sellers don't even have to keep a record of firearm sales. It's an iconic American-style jutsu. Unlike other fancier jutsus, the Reaper Death Seal, Rasen Shuriken, or even the infamous Tsukuyomi, the AR-15 jutsu can end a fight in the blink of an eye, and any novice can learn how to use it. Got a plan to take down Naruto? Drop your master strategy in the comments. Now go check out You vs. Venom, or click this other video instead.